Love is our true divine nature, and our heart serves as the intersection of the spiritual and physical, connecting our soul with our body as the conduit for anchoring our divinity onto the earth plane. Embodying our divinity is the key to our ascension and to manifesting our highest destiny in this life. The teachings of the heart are alchemy. Join spiritual mentor and channel Jennifer Spohr each week on a sacred journey to lift the veil to remembering your divinity and meet other beautiful souls who are living the path of the awakened heart. Hey everyone, welcome back to the show. I am absolutely thrilled to welcome as a guest today Diana Devine. She is a soul guide and galactic shaman dedicated to helping others unlock their multidimensional potential. With her expertise as a metaphysical activator and educator, she integrates a variety of quantum, shamanic, and psychological tools to provide tailored offerings for her clients. Diana is a founder of the Source Language Institute with its mission to teach and activate others to the purest communication via source codes, also known as light language. Welcome, Diana. I am so happy to have you here today.
Oh, thank you so much. Thank you for having me, Jennifer. I'm really honored to be on your podcast.
Yeah, it's my absolute pleasure. I can't wait to have this conversation. We were having such a wonderful conversation before hitting record today, and I know our listeners will be able to identify, when you just connect with someone right away, and that's been our interaction. And so I can't wait to share her amazing frequency with all of you. So I would love for you to share with us, how did you land where you are today? What inspired you to this path?
Oh gosh, it's been a long journey. In this lifetime, it's been over 2 decades at this point. I came online when I was 20 years old. I had a Reiki initiation that was done in Israel, and when I felt the energy kind of go pulse through my body, and I opened my eyes, I just started remembering, and then it was just never ending quest with a lot of rabbit holes, and I call them breadcrumbs, following those signs, guidances from knowing your higher self, and it's been a really beautiful journey, and just seeing where we are today as collective consciousness has been incredible. Just even since 2020, in the last 4 years, I've been witnessing people opening up to light language, people connecting to their gifts, their clairvoyances, and it just excites my soul. It excites me to where we're heading, but also seeing my own evolution in this lifetime and meeting other beautiful soul family that helps to remember how we've done this before. So we've all done this in Egypt and Atlantis and Mayan civilization. And for me, it's just been a process of re-remembering what we already know. And each one of us carries these beautiful codes in our blueprint, and we chose this particular incarnation right now because we knew this is the most important one. This is where we transition right now together with Gaia to the next dimensional reality. There's a lot of transitions that are going to be happening. I'm excited about 2025. There's been so many signs about 2025. I just came from a galactic cruise. I was there with Portal of Ascension and Starseeds. We were basically going down to Belize, Yucatan, and doing some land activations, mind activations with beautiful souls and a lot of famous people like Debbie Solaris and many other beautiful channelers as well. And it just seemed right. Like we are in this point in time right now where we closed the 12-year cycle that was opened up in 2012, and we step into and ushering in this next 12-year cycle. So, and this is where we are. We're really stepping into this galactic pathway of consciousness and ascension. And I think it would be more accelerated. By 2030, actually, I'm seeing that the reality that we know today is going to be very different. But with the Pluto energy, things have to be cleansed and removed and let go of. So, we came back, and then now there's all these fires happening in LA, and like this deep purge is happening that in the last 48 hours. And I'm just observing. I'm observing based on the patterns that I've seen throughout many years of kind of where we're heading. What does that mean for us? And where these energies need to recalibrate on Earth right now, in collective story, but also a personal story. So, yeah, that's kind of been my journey. It's been an exciting journey of also finding my twin flame and being in divine union with him for 9 years. And can talk about twin flames, I feel that's also next evolution for a lot of relationships where it's a conscious relationship. A lot of people talk about twin flame chasers and runners, but the story of the twin flame that people don't understand, it's not just about having that mirror that awakens you, but also there's a possibility to be together as two counterparts and awaken to greater consciousness as well.
Yeah, that isn't a topic that I was planning to ask you about today. However, it is, I'm going with the flow of things. It is within the theme of what I wanted to get your thoughts on today for this conversation, which is like, what are some indicators for someone that they may be connected with their twin flame, or that is something that might be coming forward for them, because it's a different experience, right? Like it's different than any other.
Yeah, so twin flames have a soul mission, and usually they come together because they know the two will be stronger in they fulfilling their soul mission and also helping each other to remember the essence of who they are. Ultimately, twin flames, they say the parts of the soul that got broken, but not the soul that we understand in a smaller sense, but more of like the oversoul, the beginning of the beginning, where if you think
Yeah,
of
the over.
source, yeah, if you think of source and fragmentations from the source, so
Mhm.
those initial oversouls that got fragmented, that's kind of the parts that got fragmented first and then chose evolution in different universes, different star systems before it came into this galaxy. This whole story of twin flames and where they originated. So many twin flames chose to incarnate on Earth right now because they know they can help each other with the soul mission and clearing the traumas and vibrational match. It's like a mirror of yourself, right? So it's a vibrational match that is constantly vibrating and showing you all parts of yourself, and some are beautiful parts and some maybe ugly truths that you have to accept and recognize and work through. And so the signs that you're referring to is like this deep unknown. There is a part of you that is here to heal you, to help you, but the work really starts with you. You first have to do the work to meet yourself before you meet your counterpart. I really believe that. So if you're feeling that you've done this work and you actualize your self-love and you in this place of readiness, so you're not trying to be in another relationship like the typical codependent relationships
Yeah.
where you're trying to fill your cup with another person's love, but you already your cup is full. You in a place of love with yourself, and you're actually looking for a conscious divine union that is not about this person filling your cup, or filling you with love. You already love yourself. So
Mm.
and there's this concept that I call it of spirit of relationship. So it's a third entity, the soul mission that I was talking about. And so when you meet that other person, you're not no longer about healing per se. You're here to be together in the divine union moving forward.
Mhm.
Sometimes twin flames, and often what happens with twin flames, one is more awakened than other. So one is chasing and one is running because one is ready for this type of intense mirroring and vibration, and the other one is not. So that's still them kind of trying to heal their own traumas. They haven't fully actualized self-love, at least one of the counterparts. What I'm talking about is actually integrating the light and the darkness and finding that place of integration within
Mhm.
yourself, that self-love, and then meeting each other at the place of, all right, now we're here to move forward and create something beautiful together, that for the greater humanity, for the consciousness. And that's really what Twin Flame is about. They're here to bring in and usher in this new earth 5D reality we all talk about. That's their real purpose.
That's really beautiful. Thank you for sharing that. I felt guided to ask you to elaborate on that because there's a lot of uh inversion out there, right? There's just a lot of misinformation out there when it comes to that, I believe. And so thank you for sharing that so beautifully.
And I just wanted to add to that, which is also something you don't really hear about. Um, yes, the misinformation is definitely there. And the divine union I'm talking about is for two twin flames, for these counterparts to come into union, they have to fully trust their power with each other across space and time and recognize this is just your mirror, right? So to come into unification. And many people still have very strong egos. They're not ready to trust their power and fully surrender into this place of unification. So if you feel you're ready for that, if you feel like you're in that place where two is greater than one and you're ready to surrender and you've done the work, then especially as a woman, you magnetize the twin flame to yourself. You actually the one who's starting the process because the woman is magnetic and the man is electric. So you actually can put your intention through into the universe that you're ready for him and you start creating a space as though he's showing up and you'll be amazed how fast he's going to come into your vibrational field. And again, if someone is wants that uh, to work one-on-one with me on that, we can, or you can figure out yourself how to do that. But anyone who's ready for that, that is possible. I have helped other beautiful goddesses to magnetize their twin flames into their lives, and they have. So we have to remember we are creators of our reality, but especially females, we also magnetic.
Absolutely. Yeah. That's a great segue actually into I'd love for you to share more about how you work with your clients.
So I work with my clients in different capacities depending on what they need. Often enough, people come to me for what I call quantum attunement or crystalline soul healing. And that essentially is like they have a lot of things happening in their field and they just need clearing and recalibration. So if you think of yourself as a beautiful instrument, like let's say a piano, and one of the keys is a little off, then you can't really play a symphony because your instrument is not in harmony. So people come to me to clear the field, and I basically run this quantum process where it's very mathematical, but also multidimensional because you have to go beyond just your physical self. It works your energetic fields, and I retune the whole geometry, the whole field, and runs this program like that clears multidimensional traumas and all of that, and also channel light language at the same time. So it's a very intense and beautiful experience that beyond the session goes for another 48 hours. It's just recalibrates the person entirely and their soul mission. So that's one thing people come to me for. I also love to do quantum healing hypnosis, which is modality by Dolores Cannon. Mine tend to be more galactic just because I carry a lot of galactic codes and I also remote viewer and a shaman. So I go with the person into whatever they're experiencing and often people will feel safe so they go beyond their lifetimes on earth, often sometimes even to their past lives. And for me, even though I love Akashic Records and I could open Akashic Records for others, I like this part of hypnosis because I want the person to actually experience their lifetime themselves so they can derive their own lessons. They can also get guidance directly from their higher self. So it's not just me giving them through my filter the guidance, but their higher self comes in. And with quantum healing hypnosis, so it's not just experiencing the past lives or the future lives, but big section of the hypnosis is actually conversation with the higher self. So you come with questions, and then in this deep state of theta, you allow in that space for your higher self to come through and give exactly the answers to the questions you have. So that's a session I often do for people across the world. It's beautiful. You don't have to be in person. Initially, I started in person, and Dolores Cannon back in the days was saying like you can't really do it digitally, but now with Zoom and quantum entanglement, there's no
Well,
such
everything is
thing.
frequency.
Everything is quick frequencies, time and
Hmm.
space. Is doesn't exist really. It's just an illusion of it. So you can have all these powerful sessions as though we're sitting right across from each other. And
Absolutely.
the last thing that I'm most passionate about, of course, is light language or source language, which is expression of your true divine self. So I have a
Mhm.
course. Sometimes I do one-on-one sessions with people. So I help them to remember their languages. So it's not something you learn, it's something you remember because it's already in your soul blueprint. So you came from a specific star system, you carry those codes, and you just need a little bit again of retuning, of support, of how to activate those codes. And so that's my biggest passion because I feel that's something, it's beyond just the kind of hands-on healing, the sound healing, the verbal healing, the codes that we carry vibrationally, telepathically too, but through activation of the voice is where we need to be today. We have to bring into manifestation from your sacral, from your heart, the vocalization into the spaces. That's when you can activate yourself, you can activate others, you can activate the land, you bring
Yeah.
in those codes into the creation because the world was created with sound, right? And so we becoming the channelist for it.
Absolutely. I feel like a lot of the manifestation practices that have been taught in personal development and even some spiritual communities are very much in the mental space and not fully anchored.
For sure. And I think essentially light language teaches you how to be a channeler. We all channelers. And in order to bring
Yeah.
the channel through, so we not just bring in some entities outside of ourselves, we really just connecting to our higher self and allowing that vocalization to come through as instruments, as divine instruments. Because we have to remember this is all consciousness game, right? We chose this particular avatar bodies, this particular game of reality. This is just one realm. There's many other realms, at least 12 in this universal construct, in at least in the Milky Way, and we can talk about Andromeda Galaxy. Um, and so we are here to experience reality, experience physical form. And we chose to be here on Earth in this density because obviously we know we learning here exponentially. And even though we feel we're limited, and we are, of course, the amount of lessons we can collect in a short amount of time is incredible. You can't really necessarily do that. And the full spectrum of emotions that we can have here with all the star seed DNA that's within us, like we collection of at least 25 star seed codes within our DNA. So therefore we have access also to all those languages because the DNA already know the languages too from different stars systems, from from the
Yeah.
elemental world, from everything is alive, right? Everything is a living entity. So we have to think of ourselves as quantum beings. So the book I'm writing right now is The Quantum Master Creator from 3D, beyond 3D into the void. And that's what we are. We are quantum master creators. And we have to remember we are the walking gods and goddesses on earth. We were literally made as image of the Anunnaki gods. So we can have access to 12 strand DNA. It's not just two strands of the DNA. We can have access to all the codes and all these universal light languages as well, because it's within our blueprint. And so we have an exponential, incredible powers. We're just starting to scratch the surface and we
Barely. Yeah, we're barely
barely.
scratching the surface.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah, we really are these amazing, powerful creator beings. And I love that you said that we're all channelers because we are. That gift isn't just for the select few. It's the ability is within all of us. It's just about becoming, intentional and conscious around tapping into it. And I think you brought up uh yeah, the importance of connecting with that higher frequency of yourself as well. I wrote something actually recently where, a lot of people instantly think of channeling as, oh, you're channeling guides or you're channeling other beings. And in some cases, that is true, right? And there are an abundance of beings that are supporting us here and supporting us as a collective and on our individual journey. But the most important channel, right, to expand is your own. It's your highest self to get really acutely tuned in to yourself at that level. That is the key to navigating this crazy path here that there is not a playbook for.
Absolutely. And I have to say the guides too, they are just aspects of ourselves. So they could be our future selves, our parallel selves. Like you wouldn't necessarily have a guide unless it is part of your blueprint. So for me, m- interaction with a higher self is the cleanest source of all the information. If you like to divide it and separate it out into specific guides or specific images that come into your imagination, sure. Like I myself don't talk to guides. I talk to my higher self because that is my console. And there are many guides as part of it. And it's just filters through as one channel. And it just feels just right because I feel all aspects of myself already included in this one stream. Not to say that you can't have guides. I've started connecting with my guides recently, and there's just like different flavors. Like you go to a restaurant and you have a menu, and and you're like, oh, you want to try this dessert, and you're just starting to understand there's different frequencies, there's some different flavors of the same dessert, but ultimately it's the same chocolate cake, right? And you can add a little vanilla and a little this. So and I think we have to remember that, like that we are just variants of our
Mhm.
higher self. And there's different variants of us in different dimensional realities, in different dimensional plane fields and different densities. So you like cosmic plane, astral plane, there's all this variants. Like I love Loki, right? I don't know if you've seen that in Marvel, like all these Lokis arrive at the same time and they're all like small, short, different, male, female. And that's us. Like we've played these different roles in different
Mhm.
avatar bodies to experience consciousness. Because ultimately, this whole game, universal game, not just this universe, but other universes too, why Source decided to split itself is because it wanted to experience and this different distortions of itself in various forms. So it's distorting, distorting, distorting. Earth just happens to be very distorted because we just experience more fragmentation here and more density in the 3D reality. But also we came to a place where enough of that. Like we already go into the photonic belt, we get in all this light code. So we started to remember that we actually not necessarily 3D beings. We're much more angelic than that. And also besides remembering the you a channel, remember also you an angel
Mhm.
and at full form, like angelic being with that has been without a form and your light being. So to accept that too. So that this aspect of who we are. We just experience a small fragmentation and distortion variant of ourselves in this body, but really our bigger self is much grander than this. And it's just kept on separating itself and separating. But you can connect back into that bigger unified self, which is the higher self, and get that, yeah, all that information is available. The future, the past, the present, it all exists in the now because as we know there's no such thing as time. Here we experience in time for the linearity of it, but it's all multidimensional.
Yeah, absolutely. I love that. It's so fascinating.
It's a fascinating game as long as you
Yeah.
know you are a conscious player. But
Right.
if you are NPC, if you're a non-player and you just kind of walking around and completely a zombie and you have no idea of what's going on, then it's just you become victim of circumstance, right? And that's unfortunately majority of the population is in that place. But when you do start consciously being aware of your surrounding. It's all about awareness and perspective. The more awareness and perspective you have, the more complex your sacred geometry, the more angles of perspective you have, then your consciousness can see all of this as an observer. And then you become a conscious player. So my kid, for instance, he loves Roblox, kids this age. And he's first time on earth. So I observe him and I asked him, I'm like, why do you like video games so much? He's like, well, mom, here it's so slow. This is first time on earth for him, it's slow. So he prefers the games, but also he's like, I can fly there. I can jump through the portals. I can do all these things and I can change different skins and I can be different avatars. And that's really gives you um, like a perspective of the
Yeah.
different other experiences we had before we came here. And here we're learning how to be slower and more limited. But yet, I think this is teaching us a lot too about the possibilities of what we can create here. And it's a fascinating game. I choose to be a conscious player, not an NPC.
Yeah, me too. Likewise. You mentioned a little bit earlier that you are working on a book. When is that being released?
So there's a Starseed conference in
Mhm.
Vancouver, July 8th, and I am working towards getting it self-published by that time. So hopefully, hopefully, chug along and have it ready by then. So that's kind of, the timelines are shifting all the time right now. So that's my highest
Yeah.
timeline. I feel
Currently, that's the timeline. No,
yeah,
that's good to know.
2025. Yeah, 2025, I feel is the year of abundance and co-creation. So if you
Mhm.
have those awesome projects that you started working 2024 or want to create this year, this is your year to do it. So for me, last year I started podcasting and it's been great. And now I feel like the book started birthing itself and it's ready to. So there's no stopping us, right? If you, it's the time to have our voices be heard. In my book, I'm covering the galactic memories. I'm covering the soul remembering. That's like one section because I feel it's so important to remember those aspects of ourselves, but also remember that we come from the void and we are void beings. So I'm covering that too. And then about Kundalini energy and why Kundalini activation is so important to come into our full potential. And then manifestation as well. Like what's the formula for quantum creation? Which is something that a lot of books cover. I have my own perspective, and I'm also adding an element about my view of reality and different levels of ascension as I can see we going through. So I try to cover different understandings that I've collected over the years, and really want to fit in the twin flame chapter. I'm not sure if it's gonna belong so much in this book. Maybe it's going to be a whole separate book just about twin flames.
Well,
We'll see.
it sounds amazing. And for those who are interested in that, we'll include all of your links in the show notes. And I'm sure there's a place for folks to join your newsletter, right? On
Yeah,
your website.
absolutely. And
Yeah, where they can stay in
I
the
also have the handbook already available for free that you can download of how the kind of the method of quantum master creatorship. So that's something I decided to just kind of give out. It's one of the chapters in the book. So yeah, I'm here to connect and support different people in their different phases of their journey. Because some people have been in this for a while, some people are just starting, and so I call myself Galactic Shaman and a Soul Guide because I can see where people are and what they need. So I feel it's customized to where the person is in their particular moment in time. But overall, I think as a collective, it's exciting journey, and I can't wait until we come out on the other side of 2030 and see how our reality changes. The systems are going to change, everything's going to change, and I feel like we're going to be co-creating in a new type of way that we haven't experienced yet here.
and it's already happening. I mean, we're seeing
Really?
it, right? We're definitely feeling it.
We're feeling it, and we just need a little bit more tools of how to ground this light, how to like hold it, like what you said, Jennifer, in your body, how to be embodiment of all of it. There's a lot of course, solar flashes, all like constant bombardment and constant activation
Mhm.
about DNA that's happening. And sometimes people, they get what they call ascension symptoms. I don't like that word so much, but I understand it's more like recalibration. It's the
Yeah.
body, the physical body trying to tune to these new frequencies. So we constantly get an upgraded, and I think we're going to go into the next few years into this
Mhm.
constant recalibration until we get to a place where we're good. Like we don't need that anymore. And we step really into our sovereignty, and we step into the creatorship aspect of our reality.
Absolutely. In closing, what else are you feeling guided to bring forward?
I feel like I want to share a little bit of light language because I feel like earthly language is limited, and there's codes that can come through that can activate some aspects of yourself that may be helpful. And just feeling into the energy of the now, and I'm really feeling, for some reason, the third eye and the heart
Mhm.
wanting to activate for those who are tuning in to really see the vision of what's coming for you and what you can create and from the heart. So just taking a moment to close your eyes and take a deep breath into your heart and exhale out, come into this present moment to receive this light language into your blueprint, knowing that it works with your field as it needs to and will only accept what it ready to accept. So just observe and be present. Wakiaratustur prastur kuapatiastunduita natustumbai kakia tu atishimania tu shurnuatiata bustiak ik uast iak ustumbai. Also bringing your attention to your throat to speak Kwania, your truth into this reality. Umpuai shatai, and see Ushtumbaya wati in your inner vision what you Yashuwati can create and manifest in the now. Ushimai, where your codes are needed now. Ushimaniati jamu natia waya sa upaita sunununuai buati will be called into certain places on earth. Ushtimbaita, reshuffling maybe your current place of living. Ijima utustumbai satia ku, you'll be guided and supported. Niati matustumbai satu puatia tia 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 nani watia nani nanunit iashuma. Chiamatia wa. Taking a deep breath into your heart. Anchor it into your body. Ushutuna, the inner knowing. Tutia, remembering that your heart is your portal to the universe. Your heart is this divine spark. Ushtumbai anutuar. Opening your heart wider to the path of the awakened heart. Shtumbai satyanua. Deep breath in. Isha ima eta kuaniatia. You're loved, you're loved, you're loved.
Beautiful, beautiful. Thank you so much. What an honor for
Thank
us
you.
to receive that today. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Jennifer, for having me on. And please reach out if you have any questions or any guidances you need. Go to my website, dianadevine.com. And yeah, and Jennifer, you and I will have more co-creations that are coming. So thank you,
Thank
sister,
you,
for
thank
all of
you, thank
this.
you, thank you. Thank you for listening to Path of the Awakened Heart. Be sure to subscribe to the podcast on Apple Podcasts or pathoftheawakenedheart.com so you never miss an episode. To learn more about living with an awakened heart and navigating your ascension journey, visit me at jenniferspore.com.